In the last class, we have discussed about the Ohm's law. So, what is the definition of Ohm's law and what is the equation of Ohm's law? So, that is V is equal to IR, that everyone knows. What about the R, resistance? Here, we are going to discuss about new topic, cell. What means by cell? So, it is a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. So, it is denoted by this notation. This is plus, this is minus. This is what is the electrodes, positive electrode and neutral electrode. So there are two types of cells are there. Number one, primary cell, the other one the secondary cell. So what primary cell does? The primary cell it directly converts C means chemical energy into electrical energy. Whereas the secondary cell in which the electrical energy firstly stored in the form of chemical energy and then converts into the electrical energy. And so this is the a small form. This is electric primary cell. This is secondary cell. In other words, the secondary cell also a Lagrange cell also, which you are going to use in the laboratories. Now, this primary cell is it can't be recharged. It has a value of 1.5 volt. That is EMF. EMF means electromotive force. So here it can be recharged. As you know, a cell can be recharged like mobile. Also it can be recharged. Similarly, the EMF is less and internal resistance is more. EMF is what? Electromotive force. That we will discuss it later. And what about the EMF is more, internal resistance is less. So as you know, resistance. What is the resistance? It prevents the flow of current. Internal resistance. Internal resistance is the resistance offered by the cell which prevents the flow of electric current in the circuit. Okay. So EMF. What is EMF? Electromotive force. So as we know the difference between the electromotive force and the potential difference. So in the earlier class, potential difference we know. What is the definition of potential difference? It is the amount of work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinity up to a point. That is the potential difference. But whereas in the case of EMF, it is the work done in carrying a unit positive charge. Once in the whole circuit, including the cell, is called EMF. There are two definitions of the EMF. See, the amount of work done in carrying a unit positive charge in once in the whole circuit, including the cell, is defined as EMF. Otherwise, the difference in potential between the terminals of a cell, the difference in potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is open is called EMF. The difference in the potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is open is called EMF. Whereas in case of potential difference, the difference in the potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is closed, that is the potential difference. Similarly, potential difference, another definition is what? The amount of work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinity up to a point is the potential difference. In other words, the difference in potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is closed, that is potential difference. Whereas EMF, the work done in carrying a unit positive charge once in the whole circuit, including the cell, is defined as EMF, or the difference in potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is open. That is the difference. You must find out the difference in EMF as well as the potential difference. Suppose in future we are going to lot of comparisons here. Which is more preferable, EMF or PD? We can say EMF is more preferable than PD because the EMF which do not draw any current from outside, whereas the potential difference we can draw the current within the circuit only. That is the main difference that we will discuss in the later. Now, on what factors the EMF depends? The EMF depends on nature of electrolytes. What is meant by electrolytes? Electrolyte nothing but a chemical solution. For example, copper sulfates. Copper sulfate solution is electrolytes. In which, and it depends on metal of electrode. What is the electrode? Electrode nothing but a rods, cathode and anode. So Cu++ S4 minus. That is the cathode as well as the anode. So the EMF depends on nature of electrolyte as well as metal of electrode, and also it depends on area of the plates. Area of the plate of what? Area of the plate of cathode or anode. Number one. Number two, distance between the electrodes. Number three, quantity of electrolyte. How much amount of quantity of electrolyte is going to take? For example, little amount, large amount. According to large amount only, you are going to get more EMF. And this generally we use in the secondary cells. And size of the cell. As the size of the cell is more, we need to have a more electrolyte solution. So electrolytes. So the EMF depends on nature of the electrolyte, the EMF depends on the metal of electrodes, and also depends on the area of the plates, and also depends on the distance between the two electrodes, and also between the quantity of electrolyte as well as the size of the cell. So generally the unit of potential difference as well as the unit of EMF is same, that is volt. So what is the EMF of a cell? That is 1.5. What is the difference between, now I am going to ask one small question. What is the difference between EMF cell and a battery? So a cell has a EMF of 1.4 volt, battery do not have 1.5 volt EMF. Why? Because a group of cells which are going to connect in series will become a battery. So suppose if number of cells, for example 3 cells, and 3 cells are going to connect in series, and the total EMF of a battery is 3 into 1.5, that is equal to 4.5 volt. So for EMF for a single cell, the EMF is 1.5. For a battery, more than 1.5 become a battery. More than 1.5. For example, and we can say the cells which are used in a cars, we don't use the called a battery. Neither battery nor a cell we used to call a lead accumulator. Lead accumulator. More than 1.5 volt. So more than 1.5 volt which are used in the cars. So the unit of cell is volt, that is EMF. The unit of battery also volt, and the unit of potential difference also volt. This is the main difference about the EMF, about the electric cell. So let us just review what is electric cell. It is a device which converts from chemical energy into the electrical energy. There are two types of cells. What is one? Primary cell, the other one the secondary cell. What is the primary cell? The primary cell which directly converts the chemical energy into electrical energy. Whereas the secondary cell, firstly the electric energy converts into the electrical energy which appears in the form of chemical energy, and again which converts into the electrical energy. That is the secondary cell. So primary cell cannot be recharged, whereas the secondary cell can be recharged. And the EMF of primary cell is less and internal resistance is more, whereas the EMF of secondary cell is more and internal resistance is there. For every cell there is internal resistance is there which offers the resistance to move the direction of flow of current in the given circuit. That depends upon the electrode, that depends upon the size of the electrode. So what is in by EMF? The EMF is the work done in carrying a unit positive charge once in the whole circuit, including the cell, is called EMF, whereas in the case of potential difference, the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from infinity up to a point, number one, in other words. See, the difference in potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is open, that is EMF. The difference in potential between the terminals of a cell when the circuit is closed, that is the potential difference. So the EMF depends on what? Nature of the electrolytes, metal of the electrodes, and also it depends on area of the plates, distance between the electrodes, quantity of electrolyte, and size of the cell. Now, so internal resistance. So far we discussed about internal resistance means it prevents the flow of currents. Internal resistance which is invisible, but that is present in the cell. So that internal resistance depends on what? Area of electrodes. Area of electrodes. That means R is inversely opposed to A. R is inversely opposed to A means what? As the area of cross-section decreases, the distance increases. Number one. Number two, the distance between the plates, R is proportional to D. As the distance increases, the distance decreases. As the distance decreases means what? The current flow increases. Number three, nature of electrolytes depends upon its concentration. So area of electrolyte through which the current flows. Actually, within the cell, the current flows from negative terminal to positive terminal. Outside the circuit, from positive terminal to the negative terminal. That means what? Outside the current direction flow is called conventional currents. Inside the cell is called electronic current. So between positive to negative is the conventional current, and negative to positive is the electronic current. So, and the concentration of the R is proportional to C. As the concentration is more, the resistance is more. temperature of electrolyte. That is, as the temperature increases, the resistance decreases. Inversely proportional. And finally, the internal resistance of this cell of ideal cell is 0. Internal resistance of ideal cell is 0. That means what? Ideal cell is 0 means it has more current will allow to pass through it. This is regarding the internal resistance. When cells are connected in series, when cells are connected in parallel, what happens? When the cells are connected in groupings of mixing of two cells, that we are going to discuss in the next topic.